Welcome back. This is the midday view here on eNCA. Now, the Finance Minister, Tito Mboweni, says workers should be allowed to access a portion of their retirement funds. He says he is pushing for the matter to be finalized, but he warns the money taken out must be used responsibly.
It's a matter which seems to be stuck somewhere in the system. It's a matter which has to do with making an allowance for workers to have access to a percentage of their retirement funds in these times of difficulty. It's a matter that has been discussed at NEDLEC ad nauseum, and I am now determined more than ever before to ensure that the officials in the National Treasury and other relevant officials speed up this matter. A portion of their retirement fund workers should be able to access in these difficult times, maybe to finish off their bond repayments, maybe to sort out whatever debt positions they might be in. But I must warn at the same time that people must ensure that they use this facility for purposes of relief and also making better their own situation.
All right, let's bring in eNCA's Money Desk editor, Devan Murugan. Devan, what an extraordinary media briefing. A lot was said out of that. We will talk about the demeanor of the finance minister and some of the, shall I say, bizarre things that came out of there. For instance, the comments about Mogoena Maluleke. But let's start with the core of the business of it all. Yeah. The package, 36 billion rand new spending, 2.6 billion rand in terms of reprioritization. Just take me through your own highlights from that briefing.
I think first and foremost, Thulas, good afternoon, is the fact that this country doesn't have to borrow any of that money. Now, you'll recall that in the first quarter of this year, between January and March, we actually had a better than expected tax collection, about 38 billion rand more than we expected. And what the finance minister and his team is basically saying, we've got the money for majority of this. We do not need to go to international institutions and borrow this money. We will reprioritize, if you can recall, 2.3 billion rand from the small business department as well as the trade and industry department. So I think that's the first thing that's very important in this, is that money will not be borrowed, small portion reprioritized. We'll use the better than expected tax revenue to actually do this. But the finance minister, quite interestingly, saying, we shouldn't be doing this. We should have been doing something else with the money, but the destruction ensued, and now we have to use this money for this this particular thing. I thought that one good thing about this is that it seems to be intact. Sasria seems to be intact, so no need to worry over there. And it does look like there are some initiatives to go ahead and get those uninsured businesses some remedies to us.
Yeah, in fact, as you talk about the uninsured businesses, the government there sort of, in a way, using a carrot and stick approach, right? Because those businesses that are not insured will be covered within this this package of assistance. But also at the same time, Edward Kisweta and the minister taking the opportunity to say, well, it becomes difficult for us to come in handy to assist businesses that are not compliant in terms of registration and for tax registration as well.
You heard the Treasury's Ismail Momaniat echoing just that. He said it's a challenging task. It's going to be difficult. So while, you know, there is the will to help these uninsured businesses, as you say to us, they're not registered. Some of them are not paying tax. To melt down or get the figure of the amount of businesses that have been affected by the looting and the riots and not insured is going to be a bit of a challenging task. But I suppose, like we said, the money for that particular grouping is going to come from the small business department and the trade and industry department as well, Thulas.
Right. Devan, I believe you'll be in conversation with Nthabiseng Moleko, a development economist, about some of these issues. So do take it away.
Yeah.